just saw a very, very short version of Raregan. Raregan is a tragedy I wrote as part of Conspiratorial Mythologies during my time at the University of the Underground. Conspiratorial Mythologies is a project that proposes alternative ways of disseminating and deciphering conspiracy theories, taking them out of the mediums of communication in which they are currently being told and into the realm of theater and fiction. Now, I believe that conspiracy theories function like myth and religious belief, in that they have the power to reveal our hidden understandings and collective understandings of the world around us. As a society, we tend to tell stories and use fictions as a way to be able to cooperate and to work collaboratively. And in that sense, part of my practice has focused on making those fictions evident through design methodology and with the purpose of understanding what truths lie behind them. When we talk about conspiracy theories in particular, we need to understand that they're highly complex and layered narratives. At the very top, the first layer is the event. And this is a layer we are most familiar with. It's usually sinister plans carried out by those in positions of power who work to hide and conceal information for their own personal and economic gain. Now, for any of these events to be possible or feasible, conspiracy theories need to establish a second layer, a foundation, and that is a set of agreed rules. For example, they need to devise new physics systems and deny existing technologies, or attribute extraordinary powers to politicians and corporations. But the layer that interests me the most during the development of the project is the very bottom layer, the very core of any narrative, and that is the emotion or emotions that prompt its emergence. In the case of conspiracy theories, this emotion is fear, a deep distrust towards those in positions of power, and a disenchantment towards our political and social systems. Now, we tend to go straight into denying the event, the very, very first layer, the surface. I, for example, did it myself. Last year, I spent some time in Helsinki at the Geospatial Research Institute, trying to prove that Finland is actually in the place where we believe it to be. And although I was certainly successful in proving that Finland does exist, what I could not prove is that this community is not afraid. So my project started focusing on understanding how we can use design methodology to target the emotion that prompts conspiracy theories, the fear. I believe, because I am a theater maker, that theater is an incredibly powerful tool. It allows us to purge our own emotions by experiencing them through the actions of the character on stage. There's many forms of theater, and I could have chosen others, but I find that Greek tragedy fitted this project the best, and this is for 3 reasons. The first one is its collective nature, the act of coming together, like we did today, to experience a fiction that has a beginning and an end. The second one is the flawed and therefore highly relatable qualities of the tragic hero. And the third one is the universality of the narrative arc. The Greek tragedy system has been recycled and reused during the years, and it's now present in, for example, video games or novels and superhero movies. Now, a Greek tragedy gave me the structure, but then, of course, I needed characters. You met some of them, and they're coming back out. I needed characters to carry out the actions. Yeah, he's alive, he's okay. So usually in conspiracy theories, characters respond to archetypal social agents. So I started carrying out interviews in person, but also online. I got very involved in the Reddit subgroups, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, to try and understand how these communities understand social agents. So for example, how they understand mass media communication or international corporations. And then of course understand how this understanding will then affect the way the character moves and acts on stage. how they look, what the materiality is, and what objects they're carrying. In the case of the tragic hero, it was a little bit more complicated because apart from understanding, well, what he's going to be wearing, I needed to understand their psychology. What's their virtue, and what are the events that turn that virtue into a flaw, that ultimately lead them to a catastrophic end, and all of us as a society. In June, I recorded a much longer version of this show and shared it back into the Reddit subgroup in which it originated. It was an opportunity for me to engage with that community, to give them back all of the information that they had provided me. But this project was also an opportunity for me to collaborate with different institutions working currently to address conspiracy theories. So I worked with fact-checking agencies in Argentina. I worked with counter-violent extremism groups in the UK and in the Netherlands. The Finnish conspiracy itself was a bit of an excuse, an opportunity for me to establish a system that can then be used to target much more widely known conspiracies or much more violent conspiracies, like, for example, the anti-vaxxers. But it was also an opportunity for me to start to understand or to prove that design, methodology, and theater can be extremely powerful tools to help us as a society understand how we perceive the world, how we understanding. And with better understanding, of course, comes better communication and much less polarization. Thank you very much.